Eham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sacha Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnanandjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Guru Abhishta Shapurakam Guru Ganayarashisha Sambhushitam Chinta Chinta Samasto Yedanipunam Shri Rupa Panthanugam Govinda Vidam Ujjalam Varthanam Bhaktyanumitam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Guruncha Divya Bhagavad Premrao Hibij Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandravadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Chandrananda Puram Sadeka Varnam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vandetam Shubhadam Adeka Sharanam Nasiswaram Srīdharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividito Gauriya Guruvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagneyo Gaura Sankirtane Mayavadati Vingilodara Gatan Undhritta Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sadabdigohan Sukham Pradata Prabhum Tam Bhaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavadhuta Murtaye Gaurāṅga Padma Bhrangaya Radha Bhava Nishevane Bande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudhanidim Gauravajashita Sheshaira Vaishnavaira Vanda Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdham Vadda Vaishnavam Pancha Kalpataru Bhayascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadanaye Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tuse Namah Jayatam Surto Pangora Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvasya Padam Bhojau Radha Mohanau Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Śrīmad Ratnagara Singhāsanastau Shri Gandharva Shri Govinda Devo Prishthalavishe Vimano Smaram Shriman Rasarasaram Shri Vatatata Sthita Karshanvenu Shaner Gopir Gopinath Shri Astana Nandaya Tulsi Devai Priyaya Keshasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sattavatyai Namo Namah Athnatva Mantra Gurun Bhagavatarthadan Vyasan Jagat Gurun Natva Tato Jayam Udire Jaya Sa Parikara Shri Shri Guru Gaurāṅga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Pad Padmanam Jayastu Jaya Sa Parikara Shri Shri Guru Gaurāṅga Gandharvika Giridhari Pad Padmanam Jayastu Sakala Vaishnava Pade More Namaskar Kitiyachu Aparadhana Uko Amar Hoya Chena Hoibena Prabhura Jata Bhaktagan Vandana Kori Ami Savaro Charan Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sāṣṭāṅ Dandavats Pranam to all the Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors at the lotus feet of Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhaktī Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj, and Om Vishnupad Vishwarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, serving worldwide. To all the sincere seekers, well-wishers and friends, welcome to our Saturday late morning Bhagavad Gītā discussion session, coming to you live from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram, Soquel, California. So we're going to start this session as we do with Kirtan, led by Lavanya Devidasi and also Radharani Devidasi. So I would have them start whenever they're ready, and then we can continue with our discussion afterwards. Go ahead.
I was thinking we can also do Bhajahu. That's not a to be. No.
I'll just have to. I just have to turn it this way. Can you move a little bit closer? That's good, that's good. And have you unmuted yourself? You're still muted.
So we'll start with page 74. Bhaja Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma
Bandho Mui Savadhana Mate Hare Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's do page 138 now. 138.
You want to see that I did that forward?
Huh?
You want to see?
Yeah, sure. I can see. Yeah.
Just wait till it's through.
Huh?
It's through.
Yeah. 3 reads. Yeah. So Gaurāṅga bolite habe. Yeah.
Gaurāṅga bolite.
Yeah. Gaurāṅga bolite habe pulak sharira.
Gaurāṅga bolite habe pulak sharira.
Gaurāṅga bolite habe pulak sharira. Hari Hari bolite nayane babe nira.
Hari Hari bolite nayane babe nira.
Arakobe nitai chan koruna koribe. Samsara vasana more kabe what page it's on. It's like 200 something, I think. Right? 2 something. 250 something.
It's
155. Yeah, 155. Totally off. I thought 255. It was exactly 100 pages off. Calculations off by 100. Bhajahu re mana Shri Nandana Abhaya charanara bindare.
Bhajahu re mana Shri Nandana Abhaya charanara bindare.
Durlabha manava janama satsange Durlabha dasya re. Shravana kirtana smarana vandana pada sevana dasya re. Shravana kirtana smarana vandana pada sevana dasya re.
Jai Lavanya Devi Dasi and Radharani Devi Dasi ki Jai. That was wonderful. Jai. Jai Gurudev.
Can just
Govinda, Govinda. Hare Krishna. Gaurāṅga Hari.
You have water, Prabhu?
Huh?
You have water?
No.
Man, you're so professional. 2 cameras, 3 microphones, a whole kirtan set up.
Yeah. Lavanya is really like trying to. What if we do this? What if we have this?
No, it's impressive.
That's incredible. Jai Madhav Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai. So, we are on chapter 2 of Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītā, and for some reason Facebook now only lets us archive for maybe 2 weeks or something, so that's why, and all the others it just keeps deleting. So we've Lavanya, thanks to Lavanya, she's archived and she's made a wonderful playlist of all the discussions we've had in continuation on YouTube, and I think she provided a link also.
Yeah, it should be pinned in the comments.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
saw it.
So it's there in case someone wants to follow, then all the previous discussions are on there. So
Since the day one?
yeah,
Wow, good job.
so she did that. So we're on chapter 2 of Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītā, which is Sāṅkhya-yoga, constitution of the soul. We've covered till verses 22. Thank you. And now we will begin from 23. So 23, 24, and 25 actually we can chant all together, and then we can discuss it. So so in the hardbound, it's page 28 that I have. So Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakah, na chainam kledyantapo, na shoshati maruta, achedyoyam madahyoyam akledyo ashoshaivacha, nitya sarva gatasthānur achaloyam sanatana. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitum arhasi. Chant one more time. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakah, na chainam kledyantapo, na shoshati maruta. Achedyoyam madahyoyam akledyo shoshaivacha, nitya sarvagata sthanur achaloyam sanatana. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate, tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitum arhasi. So we can go verse by verse if We can start with Ananda Didi, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So you could do 22 and then Ajit Prabhu and then, so 22, 23, 24. Oh, I mean 23, 24, 25, sorry.
Okay. Weapons cannot pierce the soul, and fire cannot burn it. Water cannot wet it, and air cannot dry it.
It is said that the soul is indivisible and cannot be burned, moistened, or dried. It is eternal. It reaches all planes yet remains still, unmovable, and ever present. It is imperceptible, inconceivable, and untransformable by the sixfold transformations. Therefore, knowing the nature of the soul as such, there is no reason to lament for it.
Well, best of warriors, even if you think that the soul is perpetually subject to birth and death, you still have no reason to lament. For one who has born, death is certain, and for one who dies, he must be reborn to undergo the reactions of his past actions. Therefore, you should not lament even the inevitable.
Jai.
That is asterisk saying what are the 6.
Yeah.
Do you want to read that also, Prabhu? What is it?
Birth, death, disease, old age,
Yeah.
infirmity, like that.
It's under 20.
Existence, growth,
Yeah.
maturity,
Birth, existence,
so like that. These are the
maturity,
diminution and destruction. So if you notice here, I mean, he's just like taking each and every aspect of the soul and in a negative way, like this is not what it is, so this is not what it is, this is not what it is, to arrive at what it is. So the same way he is proceeding, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Śrī Kṛṣṇa. But what I want to point out here in these 3 verses that we just chanted. So if you notice, it says, Avyaktoyam. So there is one in verse 25. It begins with Avyaktoyam. So avyakta means unmanifest. So each of us have an aspect which is avyakt. And yet, as embodied, we have personality. So he's telling us, he's giving us information that we have an aspect which is avyakt, which we have been somehow disassociated from, and it's unmanifest. But does it ever occur to anyone that we have individuality nevertheless? Even though there is an aspect of avyakt. So, because last time we were discussing about the unmanifest and then manifest and then unmanifest, right? But in manifest or unmanifest, the personality is there. So here both are simultaneously existing. Like the bodily existence is there and the unmanifest existence is there, and yet we have individuality. So that's how, if we read a little carefully, then it's self-evident. Achaloyam Sanatana, and it says Sarvagata. So it's present, Sarvagata. And of course Sanatana. Sarvagata means it's everywhere. So the dimension of that aspect is not what we're used to, space, time, 3 coordinates. It's not that. It's a different dimension. So he's telling us that we're actually that, and we cannot perceive or feel any of it. But we still continue to be an individual. So, we're not to be swayed by the fact, avyakta, okay, so when we get to that, then it's going to be all one. It's never like that. So, any comments or questions about these 3 verses? Anything you'd like to opine or add or ask? And then we'll continue. And then the verse that we read, which is, he's saying, Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavakan. So, na chayanam kledan tapona shoshati maruta. Earth, water, air, fire, he has negated all of those. Because that's our makeup. The mind is made up of, and the entire reality is made of these ashtadhatu, and then panchamahabhut. The panchamahabhut are these elements. So the element of the soul proper has nothing to do with any of these elements. That's what the purport is of that verse. But he has contextualized that because there's a battle going on and the weapons, and Kshatriya can understand what a weapon is very easily. So then taking Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. Oh, you have just, but you cannot even touch the soul with, that special metal that you have. Dahati Pavaka, you cannot burn it. You have special weapons of, that can produce fire or fire weapons. So, step by step, from the mind, if immediately mind goes and tries to form a picture of this is what the soul is. So he's defeating all of that, one by one by one. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. It's not that. Now what is it? Then he is Nitya Sarvagata Sthano Rachaloyam Sanatana. So those are the actual attributes of what the soul is. So we can chant Madhav Prabhu was kind enough to read, I think 24, 26 and 27. So you already read that.
28.
No, you're going to have to read 27, 26, 27, 28 again once we chant it. So we'll do Atchayanam Nityajatama Nanushochatum Arhasi. Okay. So from here, Atchayanam Nityajatam, and then till Ka Paridevana. Okay. Atchayanam Nityajatam Nityam Va Manyase Mritam Tathapi Tvam Mahabaho Nainam Shochitum Arhasi Jatasya Hi Dhruvo Mrityur Dhruvam Janma Mritasya Cha Tasamada Pariharye Arthe Na Tvam Shochitum Arhasi Avyaktādīni bhūtāni vakta madhyāni bharata avyakta nidhanānaiva tatra ka paridevana. One more time. Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mratam tathapi tvam mahabāho nainam sochitum arhasi jātasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mratasya cha tasmāda pariharye arthe na tvam sochitum arhasi avyaktādīni bhūtāni vyakta madhyāni bharata avyakta nidhanānaiva tatra ka paridevana. Okay, so 26 and 27, could you please, Madhav Prabhu, read again?
And O best of warriors, even if you think that the soul is perpetually subject to birth and death, you still have no reason to lament. For one who is born, death is certain, and for one who dies, he must be reborn to undergo the reactions of his past actions. Therefore, you should not lament over the inevitable.
And then Adi Prabhu.
All that happened. When all living beings are manifest before birth, manifest between birth and death. And again, manifest at death. Why lament for them?
Joy. So even if in the current situation he's addressing that even if you think, if you're in the bodily conception of life, that the soul is subject, if you believe it's perpetually subject to perpetual birth and death, you still have no reason to lament. Why? Because one who is born is sure to die, and one who has died is sure to be reborn. Jātasya hi dhruva mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So there is no reason to lament, even in a situation where you're just viewing this from the bodily conception. That's what he's trying to.
What happened with the concept of the unborn?
The unborn?
Yeah, because a lot of spiritual people talk about the unborn. They even say, I am the unborn. Some people, also deities or some sages.
They're the unborn.
Yeah.
Well,
Because if they have the one who have the beginning and the end, it's also said that we are not the body, we are not the mind.
well, I cannot judge others, but if someone is really situated at that platform, then they may be saying it from that perspective, from being situated, on the pure platform. Then if they say, then that is true, they're unborn. But usually if one is embodied, then one will have to see that, yeah, we're embodied, and so I was born. Like the soul is unborn. Sanatana means that, like
So the process,
eternal.
The process of Krishna consciousness is to enlighten the human being with the truth. And the realization of truth is that you say that some entities, living entities, are established themselves in that position by the mercy of the Guru-dev in the process of Krishna consciousness, isn't it?
Yes, that is the first step. If you see the entire full-fledged theism, then yeah, this is the first step in theism. First step in theism is to understand that one is eternal. So this is the eternality. When one says, I am unborn, then they are conversant with eternality, that aspect. So yeah, that's a Brahma Bhuta platform, when one is has advanced to the stage of that subtle level where they have dissociated, that part of the ego, that they're only the body. So now they come to be situated on the platform of soul. So then that is good, and from there then one can proceed to bhakti. But if you really ask from Krishna consciousness, it's not separate, like, okay, first let's do this, let's do that. Because then from karma to, then you go to jnana, or then dhyan, like that. Some people like to say that, but for us, when we're chanting the holy name and when we're, trying to surrender, then our entire process is like different from all of that. I mean, the essence of even Ashtang, of ascending and purification, the eightfold Patanjali yoga, those are there, and those are more mechanical. Ours is like, we have been given Updeshamrita, so which is actually for practitioners. If someone really wants to do this, then they follow Śrī Updeshamritam. And again, it's like doing away with the unwanted. First, inculcate some discipline in your life, then doing away with the unwanted, accepting everything favorable, and that's how one advances. So there's similarities and some overlaps, but the process that we have is really a little different. It's not about dhyan the way, the other Kriya Yoga and the Patanjali Yoga, people who follow, they try and do that. That's all mechanical. So the perspective and the way they approach it, it's all different. And they're trying to reach, let's say, samadhi, which is ultimate for them. Whereas in this process, yes, it's an inflection point in development, but that's not where everything ends. So inflection point and getting to that stage, there are so many concomitant, you can say, yogic powers and things that come by and that are so, you can say, distracting, that people can just get distracted by that individual. It's very easy. Our free will is always, we have our free will, so even at that stage we have our free will, and it's very easy. Oh, I can do this, so might as well just keep doing that and forgetting the whole idea of why even one started. So
it's hard to drop the spiritual egotism, misidentification with the realizations of.
Well, so here's the thing, it's a little deeper at that stage. You can't just say egotism, because ego is different. I'm not going to say it's shuddha, but let's say it's there. Because here's the thing, samadhi, people go samadhi and they go, Brahman realization. And now, as the unborn says, that I am free from everything. Well, what is the guarantee that you actually are at Nirgun Brahman? You could be at Sagun Brahman. It's a technical thing, but since you brought it up, what is the guarantee if someone has ascended to that stage that they are actually at the Nirgun stage? What is the guarantee? Because this is all graded. So, someone can be at Sagun Brahman. They can still be within the modes, and they can still have some idea some conception of Brahmabhut, but that's not Brahmabhut proper.
So for where then the guarantee will come from?
See, for us it is perfect because what we are following, when we get to that stage, no question asking, because that's not important for us, and it will pass. So Sagun will pass and then Nirgun will come. But we are not going to like start, tooting our horns and going, yay, I'm at Brahmabhut.
But some people do it.
Well, more power to them. Dandavats to them from a distance.
Maybe they have
From a
it.
distance.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't.
That's okay.
But that shouldn't be.
We have to look inward and proceed like that. So that's most
Kind of
important.
like minding my own business kind of thing.
That's most important. So these things, they're distracting, and they can put one in the, in different categories, and then one can be stalled for a long time. So we don't concentrate on those. We have our end goal in sight, and we keep going, and by surrender. And this is the descending process. So this is diametrically opposite of the ascending process. So very important to understand. But it's a good thing that we discuss, because they talk about yoga, siddhis, and you will have, such vision, and you can do all of these things, and that's not our goal. We're not really interested in that. Like that. If someone is, then then they have to deal with it. So one who is born, death is certain, and one who dies must be reborn. So there's no reason to lament. 28, very important, he says, O Bharata, when all living beings are unmanifest before birth, manifest between birth and death, and again manifest at death, why lament for them? Which is telling us like our own different aspect, manifest, unmanifest, and then again, but that doesn't change our individuality, our personality. That carries. In fact, some part of it, which is the bodily, then that gets washed, and then the subtle body acquires another body, and then tries to enjoy that way. The desires that have shaped your next body, then at the time of death, then you take that form and manifest, try and enjoy that way. And as you're going through that experience, then you develop the desires to have another experience or another set of experiences, and that determines your next destination, aka next body. So body after body after body after body.
So it's a development of capacity within the...
No, it's not development of capacity, it's just variety.
If we had coming from the contamination and confusion and no qualification and all these things that I heard, then from that point, where can I develop anything or be intelligent enough to penetrate such an inconceivable domain?
So I'm glad that you say that, because it is a domain that you cannot penetrate. That is again the ascending idea. One can only go there as an object and not as a subject. So you cannot go there to study, well, let me see, let me gate crash. That is the domain of the super subject. So we have to completely understand and be an object to the super subject and be taken in that domain. Only then we are able to have vision and idea and conception of that inconceivable, subtlemost domain. Otherwise, if we try to say, I will one day acquire abilities that will enable me to penetrate.
But that can happen too, by the grace of the Lord. I just asking, because just making a comment.
So,
Conversation.
So, yeah.
This is a provocateur.
It has all to do with your spiritual, devotional attitude. It has to do with that. So, if that rebellion of why we came here in the first place is propelling one, that is the ascending process, is what I'm trying to say. So, this is different. This is to try and purify ourselves of that. Like, no. Not in this context.
Keep illustrating me. That's what I'm here to be illustrated.
Right now you just started to throw things at me.
No, you haven't exposed my ignorance, so how can I be learning anything?
Well, I'm trying to clear my own ignorance, so
Okay.
help me.
I was quiet.
No. This is, we're discussing, so I hope it's making it clear. It's made a little clarity for me. I hope it has made some clarity for you. Yes, Didi?
Well, it's like Gurudev would say, to make ourselves a proper pot, like a container, that if we have a proper mood, then we're able to receive the mercy that's descending. So we can dive into that, like, how do we do that? How do we become a proper recipient, a worthy recipient for that mercy, that descending process? Because there's no hope the other way. So that's one way to focus.
So that's, in essence, that's the key to be a candidate for the descending process, is to invite that mercy. And to invite that mercy is to look inwardly constantly and be situated in that sphere where there's things to be corrected internally, the things to be improved on, things to avoid, and on a continual basis. It's not like, now I have completed that. So it's an ongoing process. So if someone goes, well, my project is complete, so the descending process is not really, one hasn't gotten it to that extent. So the process is like Swarnangi Didi said, it is the how to invite. So remember, we're talking about Saranagati, we're talking about absolute, this relativity, which is absolute, which essentially means as you know more and more about the infinite, and one understands by dint of that there may be a Chinta Veda Bhed, but I'm still finite. And so that will cause some relativity to happen, good relativity, like relative to that, to him, I'm nothing. But I do want some connection. So then one will come to this like indirect is best. Direct I cannot, because I cannot, like, how can I directly, I cannot even, present myself. I feel ashamed. And so I will go indirect. Das, dasanudas. That is the crux of absolute relativity. When that seed comes and kind of fructifies and sprouts, then there is something. You never want like, oh, yeah. I want a place in the heart of the devotees, devotee, like that. Or the servitors. Not directly. Then we have everything. But it's more felt than said. We can keep repeating it, but inside we want direct connection. But the sweeter and the sweetest is always indirect. That's for someone to understand and be a student of absolute relativity, Saranagati, then that is it. Yes, Didi.
We're also told that if we're doing it properly, the taste is so sweet that it doesn't matter where we are.
Yeah.
If we've achieved that highest goal, or, like there's stories we've heard where devotees are engaged in seva and some other higher opportunity has come, they're like, no, you're just, leave me alone, I'm doing my seva. It's like so sweet that it doesn't matter where we are, that's the goal, to just be fully engaged, self-sacrificing seva.
Yeah. So when one comes like to the ocean shore, like to the shore, to the beach, and one sees the ocean, one has some idea of what infinity means, a little bit. And you stand there and you're like a speck of dust. And that gives you an idea of what that is. So what comparison, or to, it's unthinkable how some people say that, or they can even think that or conceive of that. But anyway, ours is, like Saranagati said, is that. And as one develops, taste is supreme. So that, the taste becomes so key that no, I want, and in my service I have that that kind of satisfaction and enthusiasm for more taste, which is continually like propelling me in that direction more and more, and I cannot stop. So it's more internal. It's expressed just to share, but it's more internal. That taste is like internal. The sweetness. There's in oneness, like even last time, when Saranagati and we were discussing, and she said that, reciprocation, like there's none of that in that oneness. No prospect of any of that. No sharing, nothing. No smelling the flowers. So, it's not our innermost nature. At one point, one may desire it more than anything else, but one has to look deeper, deepest. So when we look at the deepest, so Mahaprabhu knows what we need most. So when he says your Swarup is that you're his slave, it's revolutionary. Because on the surface, I don't have any conception of that. Like, no, that's actually a bad position to have. Given this mundane relativity, to be a slave is like the most undesirable situation. But to be a slave of the super subject is the most desirable.
That's a hard concept in the West, because the culture's kind of given us a God that is authoritarian, judgmental, sometimes harsh judgments. And it's hard to think in terms of being a slave to that. It's not very attractive.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to explain to a brand new person,
Yeah.
you know, that he's a little boy and he plays and he's blue and he has flute and, you know, it's like, it's tricky to
Yeah.
kind of communicate that there's actually a loving Lord that doesn't judge.
So that's why fear is religion of the masses. For the masses, maybe East or maybe West. Mostly it's fear for the masses. When we come to the heart of theism, full-fledged theism, it's actually love, divine love. And from that is what Sanatan is, or eternal, or Sanatan Dharma, which they say. Sanatan Dharma is eternal occupation or eternal engagement of the soul proper. That is the real religion of the heart, when we talk of. So that's why it's important, because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if someone tries to go around and look at conceptions, it's a jungle. He says it's a jungle of conceptions. And then inevitably one is going to come to some sort of comparison, not for proving one is good over the other in any way. That's not the intent. But to understand what is what. It may come. And for that, you know, so we apply these lenses and one can see that this is not by fear. Our motivation is not propelled by fear. It's affection and love in the center. So aradhyo bhagwan brajesh tanayas tadham vrindavanam ramya kachid upasana brajabadhu vargena jakalpita. Śrīmad Bhagavatam pramanam amalam prema pumartho mahan. Here it states that what is the end goal? Prema pumartho mahan. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu matamidam tatradara napara. Beyond this, there is nothing. End of the line. This is the subtlemost, the innermost desire of the heart, and which we ourselves we have cheated ourselves of that, and then divinity has descended as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda to remind us, like, no, that's where your real wealth is. Look there. You have lost it. You have gone so far into the other direction that there is no hope for you. By all these processes, by Kriya, by all of these other things, you can become Superman or Superwoman or whatever, but that innermost aspect of yours will never be fulfilled. You will never be able to put your finger on, like, this is what I need. So they have come to tell us what we need first. So therefore, to put all of that, to bring that out, then we study scriptures. Because that's the essence of the scriptures even. Existing scriptures which have come from Him. And so even from here, when one studies in association, then we arrive at the same conclusion. No matter which lens or where we try to look at from, He gives us so many varieties here. Krishna has given us so many different things. Dhyan Yoga, Gyan Yoga, all the other yoga. He talks about Samadhi here. So we discuss that very openly. But properly, what samadhi is, beyond samadhi, and everything else, one will know when one is conversant with actual Param Brahma. Not Brahma. Param Brahma is Krishna. So when Arjuna accepts him as he is, then he says that, Param Brahma. He doesn't say, oh, you're Brahman. He could have said that. Why didn't he say that? So many misconceptions can be cleared if we study properly, in a proper mood. And you can say, well, why is he saying that? There are so many others teaching different. They may teach whatever they think is right, according to their conception, but we're, focusing on as is through the lens of how it has come to us. So we are doing that, and we're more than happy to discuss it with anyone. Yes?
I don't know if it is, it goes along with the chapter, but have you heard about, like, now there is like a big fashion say that, oh, the power of manifestation, and there's a lot of people, like, they call themselves like spiritual people, and they teach people how to manifest the life of their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these people, they manifest like material things,
Mm-hmm.
like house, car, job,
Mm-hmm.
relationship. But this force, is it like Maya illusion? Is it like, because I sense that is this kind of like interaction, it pushes people to believe they are gods. They feel themselves they are gods because they manifest anything,
Mm-hmm.
and they start believing, oh, there is no God, I am God,
Mhm.
because I can manifest anything I want.
Yeah.
But we are devotees, we know that material energy, material manifestations is not the goal, but like, what is this force? Like Maya or?
Yeah, it's Maya, and also like when even in the ascending process, it spiritual power. So one gets spiritually endowed, and then one can manifest.
So this manifestation that he's talking about in the chapter,
No.
It's something different.
No, this is the soul is manifest. Avyakta and Vyakta. Avyakta is unmanifest, means not in, you cannot pinpoint it in the GPS coordinates, that's unmanifest. So, which means it's not in the world as we know of it. It's there, but it's in another dimension that we have no conception of.
So it's other type of manifestation.
No, it's unmanifest.
Unmanifest.
It's the soul. But the soul in this world, when they do there are tantrics. There is the entire school of tantra to acquire powers, siddhis. There are 8, 9 main types, and then there are sub-types, and whatever one desires, then one can manifest. There were rishis, and there were so many sadhakas, and they were able to do that. Whatever they wanted.
We don't do that.
We cannot. It's a good thing, actually. Because again, so when, that's the thing, when one ascends, then one gets, some of these things that are distracting, and then if one gets interested in one of these, then one gets distracted. That's why one has to focus. So that's why we are told meditation, the deepest meditation is to understand where is some impetus or some, you can say, how do you call that? Inspiration. What level is it coming from? Where is it? What quarters is it coming from? It's very important. That's part of introspection, like deep introspection. Because one can have so many things coming at you. So to be able to pinpoint that, again, by grace, then one can discard it. No, this is a distraction. This is taking me entirely differently. I'm not going to do that. Or, no, this is coming from the higher quarters. I have to do this. So slowly it'll, those things come. But for us in the descending process, we don't care for these like things where people can manifest, and those are real. People can do that. So.
But it's not spiritual.
Huh?
It's just making your life more comfortable here. Digging in.
Digging in, exactly.
That's the absolute perspective. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these kind of things make the person think that, oh, I'm a god.
Yes, that's like Swami Mahārāj used to say, that's the final snare of Maya. That's her last, like.
Yeah, but
Huh?
I will not be the devil's advocate there.
Uh-huh.
Just because, Gurudev also used to say that in connection with other religions and other spiritual process, that he says everywhere that is a desire and action for improvement, it's a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, with gradations like we have in the Gita, but he didn't discard, like dismiss completely.
So
That.
yeah.
And what I want to say here is like, okay, a person is trying to find ways to improve themselves.
To improve themselves?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This manifestation may be material, but ultimately they're trying to improve themselves. And that's I just don't want to be critical.
Well, if one wants to make business of it and show it for pratishtha and all that, then it's just a material transaction is what I'm saying. It may be better from some perspective, your perspective from, some person who's like, let's say, begging in the street. And you could say, well, they've improved themselves to the point where they're materially well endowed, and they have so many things, and whatever they want, they can get. But from, again, absolute perspective, it's irrelevant. Like, well, you can keep doing that. And it's more like, well, I want to play some more before I get to business. So, okay, you play some more. And then satisfy yourself over there. Then you will be able to understand what I really want, because even those things are not going to satisfy you entirely.
I agree with
that perspective. So improvement, when Gurudev said improvement spiritually, so all bona fide religions essentially want to have people to improve. All people go and be part of religion because they want to improve? No. I would stick with what Krishna says, that why people seek religion is Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritna arjuna arto jigyasur artharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. These are the 4 reasons why people seek any kind of religion. There is no other 5th. So the 4 reasons why people seek is that they want money, they're in trouble. So when they're in trouble, they will try and seek, I need help. I seek the supernatural because I've got, and they will go to any place where they can get help, immediate help, and then they will be, so they want to have that transaction, like you help me and then I will worship you. Others are jigyasu, by curiosity. Some curiosity will come, well, let me find out what is that. Then they will go in that way. Then the other category, the 3rd category is artharthi. They just want wealth, simple. I want both. Who can give it to me? Oh, this yantra, this thing, or this practice, then I will go there. This goddess, then I will go here. Then I will do it. So, artharthi. And then the fourth category is jnani, who are philosophically enriched and they have some vision, and then they go. So, that's how the four categories is who seek religion. There is no other fifth category, as far as my thing is.
I have a question. It's a little bit going back to the point of Sharanagati. My question has more to do with, we're told about Sharanagati or instructed about it, or, that concept or that practice has been given that this is our way, this is our path. But at least for me, it's difficult to grasp on how to do it in a way or try and practice it in a way that's not, again, mixing my own selfish interests or mixing my own, well, I think this is what Sharanagati is, or I think this is what surrender looks like. So my question is, how can we hope to distinguish what really does look like surrender or versus what the mental concoction is?
So specifically, like in your thing, in your case, I think you should just look at what it is and try and understand it. Because Guru Mahārāj is, he's given it, so it has 6 limbs. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikula vivarjanam rakshasyati iti vishwaso goptatyavarnam tatha atmanikshepa karpanya shadvida sharanagati. So, to understand, let's say, some concept which is not clear to us, or then we study it a little bit, those who can, and we study it a little bit. And then through association, then it permeates through osmosis. So each limb is what? Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulya vivarjanam. Anukulasya sankalpa, accepting everything that is favorable. Favorable to what? To cultivate my devotional practice. And then to reject everything which is not. So now you have to be discerning. You have to start discerning what is not. Whether some element is external, internal, one has to isolate. Yeah. So it's a continual process. But once you surrender, then it begins. So surrender means, yes, I understand this whole thing. This is so wonderful. This is so beautiful. And I really want to follow. Versus, be in any other situation, or like I want to fly, I want to do this, I want to do all of that. So, to take shelter. That's what Sharanagati is, to take shelter, and then invite divinity in the descending process. And these are the 6 limbs. I mean, that's an entirely thing, but you must study that and then come to Atmanikshep, throwing oneself, towards the end. It's Atmanikshep. Atmanikshep is throwing oneself, not keeping anything for one's own self entirely. Everything for the center. It's like no calculation, no nothing, just entirely. Atmanikshep. And then after that, abject humility, karpanya. So Srila Bhakti Vinod and these acharyas, they're like, when they're penning these kirtan that you're singing, it is from that karpanya. lens, from that level that they're writing. So to someone who's beginning, they will resonate because they can relate to that. He's saying, oh, this wicked mind has got me into this world. I own up to it. By saying that one line, Prabhu e mona durmati, it's an acceptance, like it's my own self that has got me into this mess of mundane existence. But he is saying it out of humility. But to me, I can relate to it 100% because I'm a beginner. And that's why it relates. So, emono durmati. So in one sentence, in one verse, he has given why you're here. Deeply we are studying and going through Shastra and all, and he said, Prabhu emono durmati. Sansaro vitore. Podiya chinuami. If one does the kirtan properly, one will understand the whole thing, including Sharanagati. It is so easy and wonderful for the clear-hearted. Such deep philosophy and all those things, that's, Sarvabhaumapad, Prakashananda Saraswati, they're discussing with Mahaprabhu about, the intricacies and this verse and that verse. So how many people will do that? So this is a heart flow. Yeah. The main thing is you're interested. If, let's say, Sharanagati interested, then you get in there. Then you get into it. Then you will find association like that, and you will find scripture, and the words of the devotees, the words of acharyas, and then you follow that. Prapanna Jivanamrita is all about Sharanagati. There's so many, but beginning always, say Patanjali says, clean yourself. He's talking about a mechanical process, but it begins by yam niyam. Yam niyam means what? Yam niyam, something similar to anukulasya and pratikul vivarjanam. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikul vivarjanam. So like that, then we proceed. Then one factually gets in touch with higher energy, one gets in touch with, one understands substantially that, there is this center, and it's not theoretical, it's 100% practical. So slowly that needs to come, that needs to percolate. So faith needs to, you start with whatever little faith that you have, I have, we all start with that. That's called capital. Financially, like whatever capital you have, you start with that. So Sharanagati will, but all of this has to do with Sharanagati. That will develop the mood. So surrender is not something which sounds like what someone would like to do, especially in America or any other. Surrender? Never. Because surrender is like, for a Khatri even, like if someone says, they will never want to surrender. Yuddhe chapya palayanam. No palayan. Palayan means to turn back or retreat or surrender. No surrender. No retreat. I'd rather die. So then if you just tell them, just surrender, they'll be like, never. So surrender is to do away, ultimately is to do away with our resistance ultimately. To that sweet force to take control of us entirely. And then it's undeniable. Guru Mahārāj is saying so many things. It's undeniable, and it makes you work. It makes you go in directions and things, and you're willingly like, yes, please play with me the way you want. To get to that ideal, then we have to go through anukulasya sankalpa pratikula vivarjanam, and when that stage comes, then maybe come. So we are entirely, when I said you cannot enter that domain, we were talking like a subject, like let me study, oh, this is this. No, you cannot do that. You will enter as an object. I will enter as some object for the supreme subject. So for that, if we not overlook Sharnagati, or we go, well, we'll do it later, then you're not understanding the process, because the beginning is nothing but Sharnagati. Because when I said that this whole process, how we do it is different. And rather than go this way, then we go straight to the center. And that is only accessible through Sharnagati. You do all of these other things, yeah, you will be improving yourself. You do yam niyam, you will be improving yourself. But is that what we're in for? So Sharnagati is from start all the way. That's what takes us. That's what makes us. So we have to understand that. And exclusively taking shelter of the center. So that exclusivity also comes. Das, das, anudas. That will only come through Sharnagati. If one is not inclined for something like that feeling, that mood, there's a lot of adjustment that needs to be made. Huh? So that's why we look at the environment coming to us in any which way as positive, is trying to shape us. That is only for the Sharnagat. The one who is not, they will always rebel. They will fight with the environment. They will resist. Always. There will always be chaos and discord. At all levels. But for the Sharnagat, they will always try and adjust. They will always try and adjust and go forward with the environment. Sympathetic, copacetic dealings with the environment. So that's how we go. And you can study it, and then you can just be with devotees who you look up to, and with whom you like to, as you say, hang out. So then you will understand, like, yes, there are some differences in how, they go about doing things, they go about their service, they go about, even at times when they're chastised, how do they react or how they answer. All of these things will tell you about yourself and others. So like that, association is very important for understanding anything and moving up. That's what I would say. But yeah, Sharnagati is, if you want to understand deeply, then we can offline, we can talk about it. We can. Yeah. So I think you know a little bit.
So what's that part of environment is our friend?
Yeah? Always. So anything that comes from the environment is taken positively. All waves are favorable. We are seeing it, some waves as good, some as bad, because we have limited and mundane relative perspective, but from the absolute relative perspective, all is good that's coming to me. Why? Because my situation is that He is behind all of it. He is behind all of it. He knows what is best for me more than I do. So how can He want anything negative for me in the proper mood? Right? So, see, when someone tries to focus on this, they will always remember the center. And what does Krishna say? Yo mama pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. You will see, in everything you will see His hand. You will always see that. And He's talking about perfection of yoga. Yo mama pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyami sa cha me na pranashyati. So so then it develops, comes to a point where one sees, as all waves are favorable, one who sees me everywhere, all pervasive, and everything in me, unique, exclusive, indivisible, one. Huh? Tasyaham na pranashyami. For him, I am never lost. And for me, he is never lost. See the reciprocation? That is the perfection of yoga. That is the way to see Krishna. Ayo mama pashyati sarvatra. At the same time, sarvam chamai pashyati. Never forget. Not like, oh, yeah, all is one. Yo mama pashyati sarvatra, sarvam chamai pashyati. Who can harmonize this? Then tasyaham na pranashyami. I am never lost. The wave, every wave will be favorable. That is the way of the Sharanagata. And this is only Bhagavad Gītā. This is Bhagavad Gītā telling us.
There is a part called there is dangers, which is cunningness, calculation. Like I want some desires and some judgmental way to see the favorable, and what you describe was more in the absolute favorable situation and what we desired to avoid constantly.
I don't think I understand that, Prabhu. What is the question? Could you please repeat that?
Ask questions. It's not a question, it's a comment.
Wonderful. Maybe I can try and understand that later then. It will help me. I really did not understand that.
I don't understand.
Meaning I couldn't follow you. That's what I mean. And I mean sincerely, I couldn't follow you. I lost.
I was trying to say it this way. There is an aspect of cunningness. Cunningness, you know what cunningness?
What is that?
Cunningness is a separate interest.
Cunning.
The within.
Cunning.
Oh, cunning. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right? And this aspect of cunningness, in which everything I do it for interest to obtain things. You know, like if I'm going to serve the Lord, I'm going to serve the Lord with the interest to obtain things, and that is an impediment for development.
Yeah.
Devotion.
Okay, yeah, now I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you for repeating it, Prabhu.
Yes.
That is, so you're saying no taxation without representation.
Prayer 1A. Give him something.
Yes, of course.
A business transaction.
I remember Guru Mahārāj would say that we can't have that feeling about someone.
Yeah, so we have to work on that. So it's good like to own up, yes, I do have that, or yes, I don't have that, but if one does, then one has to work on it. It's a work in progress. It's but natural. We've become habitual. We've become creatures of habit to that kind of contaminated thinking. So it's good that one knows that that is not conducive for my progress and works on it. But yeah, I mean, those things are there. He says that, because of that, driven by desire or wanting something, then people approach different deities, different demigods, gods. They approach. Kame sita ester harita jnana prapadyante anya devata. So, but that's our prakriti, or that's our nature, internal, and we have to work on that. That's part of what we have to do. So what are we approaching him for?
And then when we have that desire, I'm going to do this and I'll get that out of it, and it doesn't come the way we wanted it to come, then we have to see every way was favorable. And like, that wasn't good for me to have that, or whatever the reason was, the Lord's hand's always behind it. Whatever situation we end up in, it's for our betterment.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. But all these parts, if we can remember them when we're going through it, it'll help us to go through in the right way.
Exactly. So that's why this process is, when he says yajantihi sumedasa, who will follow Mahaprabhu, his conception? Sumedasa. When he inaugurates the Sankirtan Yajna, this is in Bhagavatam, when he inaugurates, then yajantihi sumedasa. So which means at the outset it's available to everyone, yet at the same time it's not like for the masses as such, like it's not fueled by fear, like if you don't do this, these are the commandments, and if you don't do this, then all bets are off and you're going to go to hell, or whatever. But so this is yajantihi sumedasa. So sumedasa, the developed consciousness, they will be able to spot, find theistic intelligence. So only that theistic, not just like, like over-the-counter or off-the-shelf theism. Some discernment is there, some understanding is there. Why even religion? Why do we need religion? Because atheist says, and then the anti-theist says, destroy it all. See, they're the most dangerous because they know it and they want to destroy it. Atheists in general, they're like, they don't care. Well, you keep entertaining yourself, that's fine. But the anti-theist is what is the problem. But for the full-fledged theistic people who are after full-fledged theism, then discernment has to be there. Like, okay, well, what is it that is here? What is, oh, this is, okay, this is the nature, and this is what it is, and this is how you describe things, this is how it's all. But then who's ultimately behind all of it? Because we talked even last time, say, people go, oh God, this God, that God. Conception of God is like almost lost. People again go, well, what you believe, that's God. just what you believe. But we're not after that. All belief systems and everything is, we are form breakers. We're not form makers. We are form breakers. Why? Because we're after reality. All these other, these customs, traditions, they're all nothing but formality. We're not after that. We're after reality, not formality. Does that make sense, Prabhu? So we have to see things like that. I'm after reality, not by what serves me and my mind and my senses the best. That is mundane. Period. So we have to proceed like that. In everything that we do, how to have some focus of the center. Initially it's like that. Then in a developed way, from the center everything comes. So yo mama pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati. Unless we have focus of that, always, nirantar, 24/7, no formality. And that can only happen in some form of divine love. Not otherwise. You will only think like that when one is actually deeply in that, not mechanically. It cannot happen 24/7. Full-fledged theism is only in this line, in Mahaprabhu's line. You're engaged 24/7.
Yeah, one part of the Gita says the yogi who is established in yoga never sleep.
Well, is that the verse you're saying, referring to one who is awake to this plane is asleep? Yeah. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. That's the verse. One who is awake to that higher reality, they're asleep to this. And one who is awake to this, for them that is night. Isn't that reminds us of die to live? So we have to die here to live there. So for us, when we study death, it is for life. We don't just simply study and love death. Again, difference in conceptions. Our conception is we want to die. Why? To live.
But what dies?
The mundane relativity. That conception completely, slowly just vanishes. It's all waves are favorable, and we are completely situated in relation with the center and serving, in service. And then we are fully awake on that. Everything here will then become undesirable by nature. So indifference. It'll be, do you want this? Oh, doesn't matter to me. Do you want to have a lot of money? Or you want to be this? Oh, it doesn't matter. Or you will have another birth. Doesn't matter. So none of it matters. Why? Because you're awake to that. You have died to live in that realm. And yet, even in that realm, you're forgetful. You're forgetful. That's ultimate, in forgetfulness. You're not really like, okay, now I have a position. You never want to have that. I have no position. So that is coming completely into the embrace of that universal wave, being carried as he pleases, as he please. And always indirectly, trying internally to be indirectly. So then who shall I serve? And I'll serve Srimati Radharani. But who is the highest servitor? Who is the best servitor? Srimati Radharani. So like that. Then, even in Bhagavad Gītā, he has told us even our constitutional nature is Prakriti. Prakriti is a serving unit. Prakriti means Shakti. Prakriti means Shakti. It doesn't mean consumer. Consumer is only one. Bhoktaram Jagya Tapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram. He is the only consumer. He is the only enjoyer of all, even sacrifices that are done. He is the only sole enjoyer. Bhoktaram Jagya Tapasam. All austerity. He is the only enjoyer of all of that. Sarvalok Maheshwaram. So for a rebellious unit, it's very difficult to come to terms with like that, like only you, there's no I'm not represented, so then let's all become one. So now, okay, I'll pay tax. Why? Because I'm represented. I'm there. Not understanding that Krishna has our back out of affection for us. So we don't need to like explicitly have in our heart or outside or express it like I want this. He knows what is best for us. Like this we go on and we get to that finest conception. We have come to an environment where no further development is possible. Nothing can be better than that. It's so sweet. Katha ganam natyam gamanam api vamshi priya sakhi chidanandam jyoti paramapi tada swadam api cha setra kshiravdi sravati survi vayashcha sumahan nimesardakyo vrajatina hi yatra api samaya. Time is also serving. Everything is so sweet. Every movement is like a dance. Bhaje shvetadvipam tam maham miha golokam itiyam vidantaste santakshiti viralchara katipaye. That is our ideal. How sweet, how wholesome, how fulfilling, how wonderful. Ecstatic. That's what the heart wants. That environment. So, full-fledged theism is that. That is the fulfillment, ultimate fulfillment of the conscious existence. Ananda. Mm-hmm. So we have that. As our ideal and nothing else. No compromise can be made. How could you compromise with that? Okay, some of that and some of this. I mean, how is it? It's inconceivable to be in that. And why would I not be carried to that. Like, how could I gate crash into that? Like, you cannot. It's inconceivable. It was out of my conception. It is something which has been acquired by the grace of higher energy. It has come within my system. Even the concept of that was not known to me. Mm-hmm. And He's available to one and to all. So why would we not do it? And everyone should know of this. And Mahaprabhu is, when he's coming, when his descent is just so sweet. His every movement is about Madhurya, that Adi Rasa, that original. Because originally, so we have the supreme predominating moiety and the supreme predominated moiety, and they are the complete whole, they're divinity, the supreme. So initially it's said they were one, and then to enjoy pastimes, then they became Radha and Krishna. Because then they enjoy pastimes, and then in Mahaprabhu they again recombine. But that recombination is not like before. This time the potency has embraced the potent. So she is facing the environment. So everything has changed. And suddenly what was totally not available is now available. So it is of that importance, that universal way. So the potency is embracing the potent. Initially it was the potent. And now potency is embracing. And so that's why everything that was so durlabha or not available before now has become available. All perfection has become available through Harinam. And He is giving out His own name, His own holy name, in forgetfulness, because he forgets He is Krishna. He is Krishna, but He is in forgetfulness. And He's giving out Krishna's name. You chant this. Nijanama Koridana. What does that mean? That He has appeared in the land of Nadia. And what is He doing? Nijanama Koridana. He is giving freely. Nijanam means His own name, His own holy name He is giving. And He's tasting it Himself, and He's in ecstasies dancing. And then the magnanimity is He's giving it. The same, He's like, you also take it. How magnanimous. The king is what he's tasting, He's giving. You also taste. You may be, some bum on the street, you also taste it. Absolute relativity. This is, can you understand absolute relativity? That highest has come in distributing that highest to the lowest of the low. That is absolute relativity. No? Inconceivable by mundane standard. Or by any standard. What? How is that possible? Yes. So, to be in Mahaprabhu's line and being in Param Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Swami Maharaj's line, it's like I said last time, it's like each one of us is like a lottery winner. So we're like sitting and, oh, how wonderful, oh, how. Hare Krishna. So like that. Sri Radha Krishna Pranay Vikritir Alladani Shaktir Asmad Eka Atmana Vapi Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedam Gatavtau Sri Chaitanyakhyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyam Ektam Radha Bhavaditi Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. So they again recombine as Srimad Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Dev, and he is descending. Gaura Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Should we continue or what do we do?
See where we're at in the kitchen.
Śrīvat Pashyati Kaschidinam.
10-15 minutes
Okay.
before the offering.
All right, no problem. So the next verse we will do is verse number 29. Right? Yeah. Let's do 29. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidinam ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya ascharyavat chainam annah shanoti shutvapyanam vedana chaiva kaschid. One more time. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidinam ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya ascharyavat chainam annah shanoti shutvapyanam vedana chaiva kaschid. Shranangi Didi, would you like to read the translation?
For 29.
Yes.
Some see the soul as astonishing. Some describe it as astonishing. Some hear of it as astonishing, while others, though hearing about it, know nothing of it.
So, some see the soul as astonishing, the ones who have directly in contact with it. Some describe it as astonishing. This category is also bona fide, although they may not have seen it directly, but they have put their faith in the ones that have seen. And they're fully invested in that, and they want to do the ultimate good for others. So, anyone who hears about them, from them, they will be benefited. And they themselves will be benefited. Some hear of it as astonishing. Those who come to hear from any of these two categories, they're benefited. And they're bona fide. The only ones that he's not happy about is the last bunch of people who have continuously or repeatedly heard it or been around those who've seen it or any other or these two other categories. They still have no conception of it. That, he goes, is unfortunate. All others, extreme fortune. So, in our line, directly is not that good. This indirect category is actually they invest their faith in, the acharyas. So, he is, in the same verse, he has said that they're all bona fide. And those who hear from him. Very nice. There can be no other entity, no other personality more liberal than Krishna. He is so liberal. Like liberal absolutely. So we can chant 30. Dehi nityam adhyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natam shochitum arhasi. Dehi nityam adhyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natam shochitum arhasi. You like to read?
O Bharata, the soul dwelling within the bodies of all living beings is eternal and cannot be slain. Therefore, you need to lament for no one.
So, again, the nature of the soul is again being emphasized, that you're thinking you're going to kill someone, but you cannot. You cannot extinguish their existence. You can only end their body. Therefore, you need lament for no one. Next one. Swadharmam api chavekshaya na vikampitum arhasi dharmayadhi yuddhachrayo anyatra kshatriyasya na vidyate. Swadharmam api chavekshaya na vikampitum arhasi dharmayadhi yuddhachrayo anyatra kshatriyasya na vidyate. Moreover, considering your natural duty, you have no reason to waver, since there is no action more auspicious for a warrior than a battle for justice. Commentary. One's natural duty or swadharma is of two types: relative or absolute, according to the soul's state of either material bondage or liberation respectively. In the liberated state, the natural function of the soul is purely spiritual devotional service for the transcendental pleasure of the Supreme Lord alone. But in the state of material bondage, a person's natural duty possesses mundane attributes. The conditioned soul accepts various births throughout the 8.4 million species of life according to his actions until by the influence of piety he obtains a human birth. Then, according to his nature, he may adopt a position and prescribed duty in the God-centered socio-religious system, Daiva Varnashram, which helps one attain the natural duty of the liberated state. In this respect, the natural duty of the liberated soul is somewhat covered by the relativity of the material world. Yet, within the God-centered socio-religious system, it is nonetheless considered a person's natural duty, as for example, smoke-covered fire is still considered fire despite its covering. So in here, when he's explaining to Sri Arjuna what his duty is a warrior. As a warrior is battle for justice. Remember what Dhritarashtra said in the opening statement, Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. So Kurukshetra says Dharma Kshetra, a battle. It's a highest battle for justice. So in his conception, religion's highest battle is for justice. And for a warrior, battle for justice is nothing more, there's nothing more auspicious than battle for justice. So, and that is your natural duty. As part of Daiva Varnashram. Natural duty as part of, that's why in the commentary it's made clear. Because in our true original state, our liberated state, we are only serving Krishna. We are only like a serving unit, purely serving unit. There is no other obligation, there is nothing. But till such time we are part of the mundane relativity, and we have to also engage in this world. So, doing our duty according to the Daiva Varnashram system. So then that's how we discharge our duties on this plane. According to our natural qualities and our various propensities to act in a certain way. Some are more intellectually inclined, some are good administrators and like that. Others are good in trading and transactions, money transactions and things of that nature. And then the fourth group, they like to help others.
The janitors.
The farmers and like that. Actually, Krishi Gorakshaya Vanijyam, that is Vaishya Karva Samavajam. So, but let's say if some Shudra wants to help any other category, then that is good. That is within Daiva Varnashram. So, unlike Shudra is nothing, no, they are not looked down. That's not what the socio-religious system is for. It's to have your own sphere of your own propensities. That's how you act. So you're supposed to do that. And it's always changeable. It's not like, okay, that's what you were born in, so you're going to stay that way. It's by guna and karma. So guna and karma are always changing. So at this point, what it has devolved into is Asuric Varnashram. That's why it says Daiva Varnashram. So that is the original intent, why it was there, and right now it's devolved into Asuric Varnashram, where it has become social stratification based on various attributes. But since it's created by the Supreme Lord, it's to be seen everywhere. People may not call it by Varnashram name, but stratification will always be there in some way or other. All societies, any organized society you look, there will be stratification. Based on, this, that, whatever, but there will always be stratification. That is Asuric. But the real goal of Daiv Varnashram is to propel everyone, the adherents, towards the liberated state.
But the scriptures talk about eternally liberated and eternally conditioned souls, right? So how does one cross over from being conditioned to liberated?
Exactly. By this process that one engages in Daiv Varnashram, in that socio-religious system, and then cultivates their more and more affinity towards the center, wants to know the center, and then that's how they get into the other category.
So they're not necessarily eternally conditioned.
Eternally conditioned by one's own, you can say, choice. And once you exercise that right of choice, then you can change your condition.
Oh.
So eternally because of your own doing.
Oh, I
And then you can change it. And then you try to go towards the center, then you will get all help. And then you can get to that.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's where we are.
Yeah. So that's eternally conditioned is by the choice that one makes, one is in the conditioned state. And then when one chooses to surrender, and when one chooses to know, I want to go towards the center, then they can exercise that, and all help will come. The environment is favorable, then the environment will come and help. Then one will get association, one will get access to all kinds of help, scripture, divine teacher, divine masters, and then that bracket of energy, then that'll carry us. So it's like a simple process, but depending on our choice. So Nitya Buddha, or eternally conditioned, is not something that has been imposed on us as punishment from higher quarters. That's because of our choice. That's, our condition is eternally conditioned.
And our ongoing poor choices. We continue to make bad choices.
Yeah, unfortunately. So the original choice, because of that original choice, wrong choice, then every other choice that you make is going to have a slight error.
Slight tinge of that.
No matter how small, it'll still be there.
Yeah.
So it'll always carry you at a tangent.
Prabhu, my husband and I were talking, we were talking about the Christian conception, how you blow it and you're condemned to hell forever. Like, how heartless is that,
That's actually not in the Bible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't go to hell forever in the Bible.
It's just a current.
The punishment is death in the Bible, death of the soul.
Oh,
The wages of sin are death.
that's worse.
Yeah.
But we were going on that assumption that that's what was being taught. And he had an interesting perspective that, from our perspective, just the life of the universe seems eternal. And for the soul to be in the material world for the life of the length of the universe seems eternal. And so it's like you make a mistake and you go to hell. It's like the material world is a form of hell because you're away from the divine plane. And so it seems eternal, but in reality, it's not. It's like, you know, a mustard seed and a bag of mustard seeds that, you know, one inhalation, one exhalation. It's not, but it seems like it from a certain perspective, it seems eternal. I thought that was interesting, but you reminded me of that with eternally conditioned, eternally limited. It's a perspective of time.
Yeah, it's relative. So, because in our conception, day and night is what day and night is, you know, it's day right now, it's night then. But factually, one day of Brahma and one night of Brahma, if someone knows that and harmonizes his conception with that, then they will come to know what is day and night. so you know that it's relative on all planes of mundane existence. It's all relative. So that's why it's important to, you know, go through scripture, because then it kind of expands one's horizons for accommodating some you know, conception. Otherwise one will live in, you know, the same conception that one is accustomed to, used to, and that's what most people do, you know. They're like, no, I'm not interested, I am where I am and I'm going to defend it for the rest of my life. So then people just defend it. No, this is okay, it's all here, it's there. What real are you talking about? We also have this, okay. But that's why our, you know, reading and everything is revolutionary. That we you know, the perspective we have and the level of insight that we have is phenomenal. It's not. That's it's all aparushe. Aparushe means it's not of this world. So.
But it's in this world.
Yeah, this is a miracle in of itself. That is a miracle. That we're able to somehow, again, this is grace from above, that we're able to somehow, using language, using elements of so-called material existence, we are able to, you know, talk of this or be able to converse about these topics, which are totally like not of this world. That in of itself is grace, right? Like, because, and then ultimately even this is his energy. Inferior, superior, that's again from a perspective, but energy is energy. This is his energy. So using his energy in his service, that is best. Anywhere. If one has to act, if one remembers this, all energy is his and must be used in his service. If you can do that.
Isn't the servitude an aspiration? It's completely done without the maturity of surrender and the person who execute so-called the devotional attitude. Because the contamination and the shortcoming of what we represent is based on ignorance and darkness. So it's pretty inconceivable.
Jai. Achinta.
Chinta. And sometimes in the interrelation between the practitioners, we forgot that we have to be very careful the way we treat each other.
Mm-hmm.
No assuming that I know you.
I know you're Adi.
I know you. I know you do.
Hare Krishna.
And I'm glad somebody knows me.
Hare
You.
Krishna. We follow the very basic principle. Not so basic, it's not natural to us because we're so rebellious, and we offer respects to everyone. We offer respects to everyone, which means offer respect even to someone in my conception who doesn't deserve it. That's what that means. Amanina manadin. That is Govinda Mahārāj's interpretation. Special. I haven't heard that before him. When he says amanina manadin, one translation interpretation of this is to give it to others but not expect any for one's own self, right? But the deeper one is to even give it to those or into that direction which I know in my conception doesn't deserve, but I still give it. That is also amanina manadin. Because we know that the amani, there is no, we are not to give, it's very bad in that direction, but we still give it. Then one can come to chanting the holy name. So that is therapy for us. Every time we go, we have to give, we may have to struggle with ourselves, but we still give. That is like absolute therapy for us. Amanina manadena. Then otherwise, tranadapi sunichena taroriva saishnuna amanina manadena. Amanina manadena is this. What you just brought up. Then Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here, if by your permission. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Paribhajakacharya Madhya Stotra Sata Śrīla Bhaktī Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktī Rakshak Srīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwarenya Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Banda Ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Mahārāj Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Soquel Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. All our Facebook and YouTube followers and devotees Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gaurāṅga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Jairam Prabhu ki jai.
Shambhunath Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.